Hi students. Last class we drew an outdoors 3D landscape of a city, and today I'm going to show you quickly how to do a room drawing in 3D. Okay, so this can be a bedroom or a living room or something, and it's very simple. The first thing you need to do is make sure that your paper is arranged so that it's in the landscape orientation. So that means, that it's longer than it is tall, just like my imaginary piece of paper here. Now, somewhere near the middle of the paper, I want you to put an X or a dot. That is going to be our focal point for the rest of this drawing. Okay, make sure it's somewhere near the middle, not too far to the left or to the right, just somewhere near the middle like this. It doesn't need to be right in the middle, but it's actually better looking if it's off to the side a little bit. Now, once you've got that focal point in place, all you have to do is draw 4 lines right from the corner of the paper to this focal point. This is the first one. This is the second one. And I'm able to draw straight lines because I'm using a computer program. You guys will have to use your rulers and measure carefully from one corner to the focal point. So, what does it look like right now? Well, it looks like I've got this tunnel that goes on forever. Okay, so here's the ceiling. Here's one wall, here's another wall, and here's the floor. Now to make a room, we have to draw 4 more lines, okay? And you have to decide how deep you want to make the room. Do you want the back wall far away, in which case you'll be making a rectangle far away, or do you want the room to be shallow, in which case you'll be drawing a big rectangle? Well, I'm going to make a medium-sized room, so I've decided I'll put 1 line here, and then that is a perfectly straight vertical line, and then I make another line here that's perfectly horizontal. Okay, make sure you use your ruler and measure this out. I'll draw a third perfectly vertical line here, and then from here I should be able to draw one final line that's perfectly straight back to where I started. If you do this correctly, you'll actually be able to make a perfect rectangle, okay, with 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines. Now at this point, if you want, you can actually use your eraser and, erase out some of these lines back here because we don't have a tunnel anymore. What we have is a room with a ceiling, a floor, and a left wall, a right wall, and a back wall. Okay, and you'll notice that I kept the focal point where it was because we're going to use that all the time. Now, let's draw a couple of different pieces of furniture. Okay, let's say you wanted to have maybe a drawer or a desk or something. Okay, so it's very easy. What I usually do is, let's say I have a cabinet or something against a wall. I will draw a vertical line here, draw a horizontal line here, another vertical line here, and then connect those to make a rectangle. Okay, I can erase a little bit here if I've drawn too much. And so this is a box. It's moved up against the wall. Okay, and I can click and draw a line from this point, this corner, to the focal point, this corner to the focal point, this corner to the focal point. Does this kind of remind you of the building we drew last day? Okay, so of course, right now it looks like it goes on forever, so that's not what we want. You'll have to draw 2 more lines. Okay, so I can decide, I'll click here, draw a perfect vertical line, and then I'll click here, draw a perfectly horizontal line, and now go back to my eraser. I can erase some of these guidelines because you don't need those anymore. And you can see that I'm left with, it could be a night table or a dresser or another piece of furniture. Okay, of course, these lines inside here also need to be erased because those lines represent where the wall meets the floor, and because it's behind the furniture, it shouldn't be visible. Okay, so if you erase this, you're left with a rectangular box. It could be any number of different types of furniture. If I want, I can even add additional lines here to represent different drawers of maybe a cabinet. Okay, again, I will erase these lines once I've drawn them in because these guidelines don't need to be there. Okay, all right, maybe this room is a bedroom, so I want to do a bed. Okay, so again, this is what I'll do. I can cheat a bit because I'm using a program. I can draw a perfect rectangle. Okay, you guys should use a ruler, measure out a horizontal, a vertical, another horizontal, and another vertical. Make a perfect rectangle like this. Okay, once you've drawn the rectangle, it's just simply a matter of connecting this point to the focal point, and then this corner to the focal point, and then drawing a line across here. This represents the head of the bed, you know, where it meets the wall. Okay, and once I've done that, I can go back to my eraser, erase some of these guidelines, and then I also have to erase this guideline because now the bed is hiding where the back wall meets the floor. You don't see that line. Okay, and you can also, if you want, you can add, using a ruler, you can add like little feet or something. Okay, like so. And so we've got a bed. Okay, we can even, let's say you've got a box spring and a mattress, so you can even draw a horizontal line here to separate the box spring on the bottom from the mattress on top. Okay, let's say you've got a door in your room. Well, you can do this. It's as simple as drawing two vertical lines, like one here and another vertical line here. Now, I'm not exactly sure how long or how tall to make these lines. That's not important right now, but I've drawn these to the sides of the door, and from the focal point, I'm going to measure out where the top of the door frame is. Okay, so by doing this, I know I've drawn these two lines a little bit too long, so using my eraser, I can just erase parts of this out, clean it up a bit, and then this guideline can be erased as well. And so that's the shape of the door. You guys can grab a stencil from the teacher, and you can even make a little oval doorknob. Okay. All right. Let's say your room has, you know, picture frames or posters or windows. Those are really easy to draw. And this is what you can do. You can click and just draw a guideline here and a guideline here. Okay, going to the two lines going to the focal point, and then I can draw one vertical line here, another vertical line here. So basically I've made myself this long rectangular window, using my eraser, I can clean up some of the lines. And you can see that looks pretty good. If your window has separate panes, you can draw another set of perfectly vertical lines. One here, and you've got two separate panes of that window. You'll notice that I kept these lines here farther apart and then these lines closer, because you have to remember things that are farther away tend to be smaller and closer together. So this pane has to be bigger than this pane. Okay, so it's very easy. I can add some posters on the right hand side using the same technique. Maybe just draw a line here from the focal point outwards, and again just click and draw two vertical lines like so, and go back and erase what doesn't need to be there. Okay, so these guidelines can be removed. Okay, again, I always tell you guys not to press too hard with your pencils, because you press too hard, the line's too dark, it's hard to erase. Okay, anyway, let's do one last object, which is going to be quite challenging.